You're listening to That Home Loan Hub. I'm Zibuni Solimova, here to make home loans and property investing simple, smart and stress-free. Let's get you closer to your property dreams. Electrical vehicles is the hot topic of the month. Hello, James.
Aloha.
EVs and solar panels.
Awesome.
We talked a lot in the previous episodes how people can take control of their finances. And I believe one of the ways you can take back that control is actually by maybe purchasing an EV,
Yeah.
right? A lot of people thought the same. I'll give you some statistics.
Yep.
Do you want to know how many cars were registered in New Zealand before the conflict?
Well, that's a really good question. I don't know much about EVs, but I was to say a few hundred
Per week.
per week.
Yep.
Per week.
So about 300, 350 per week.
Yep.
That were registered. So I assume, it's people buying cars, it's people transferring the ownership of the cars, etc.,
Yep.
etc. As the conflict escalated, what do you think the number is now?
I think it would be, I certainly would have gone up. So 500?
1,500 cars per week.
Whoa. That's
Crazy.
crazy, eh? That is like what? What do we call that? What is that? 5 times.
Yeah, 5 times more. So
Yeah.
a lot of people have started panic buying. A lot of EVs went up in price. Second-hand cars that weren't even moving at all, they've gone up in price because as people realized, crap, we're going to run out of petrol soon. How we're going to get from point A to point B is by future-proofing and buying an EV. But my issue with that is, again, it might be a temporary conflict. And you're going out, you're putting extra expense right now for something that you may not need to use down the track.
Short-term thinking again, eh?
Yeah. And I mean, I'm still on the fence about EVs. I don't know how long those batteries last. I don't know what's the, maintenance on those cars.
Yeah.
I believe you need special tires for those cars. It's not just the standard tires. So all the costs that's hidden, but also there's road user charges.
Yep. Well, they've got to get the tax from those drivers for the roads somehow.
Yeah.
If they're not paying petrol tax or diesel tax.
Yeah.
So, look, there's a cost. You got to look at the whole story, right?
Yeah.
Not just depending on your stance. If you're looking at it from an environmental lens, there's a whole lot of stuff in a EV, such as those batteries, that are not so good for the environment. So having said that,
we just send them into the space, right? We'll be fine.
I think we used to send them to China or something. I don't know.
I believe they found a way to look after those batteries in a way that's...
I've actually invested in a company that recycles batteries.
Uh-huh.
So I'm hoping that'll pay off 10, 15 years down the track. At the moment, it's not really paying off. But with the EVs, I've never been a really big supporter of EVs, but you're beginning to see now, okay, you're seeing a lot more of them on the roads. Now that the technology is getting better, it's probably becoming an option to look into that. But I wouldn't be rushing out to do it right now. What I would wait for this thing to blow over that's happening now. I don't know how long it's going to take, and then EV prices will come back down again, oil prices will come back down again, and you'll probably pick up those EVs at a cheaper price. That's the way I would look at it.
My issue with EVs is there is not many affordable EVs in 7-seaters. And I need a 7-seater.
Yeah.
I've got 4 children, and often my mother's with me. Often we go to places, I pick up kids' friends. I'm usually that mum that picks everyone, drops everyone. So I need a 7-seater. And the 7-seaters that I looked at, they're all like the house deposit price.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
100K, 150K, like I'm not spending that
You might
much.
have to sell one of your children.
Yeah. Then downgrade to a 5-seater.
Yeah, that's true. Win-win.
Yeah.
I can see, and as your kids become teenagers, you're going to need that bigger car, because what we've learned, even though I've only got 2 kids, is as the kids get bigger, the stuff that they take to places, all their sporting equipment or whatever, becomes huge. And so, you are going to need a 7-seater.
Yeah. So there's not many affordable 7-seaters. I know there's a big company now, BYD. They have one.
That was one of the things that was interesting at the conference. BYD, fastest growing car company in the world. It's like the 3rd biggest after Toyota and another one. I can't remember what the other one was.
I haven't heard of them at all, right? And then they all of a sudden...
BYD. And you know who's not even in the top 10?
Who?
Tesla.
Wow.
Not even in the top 10 by volume.
This episode is not sponsored by BYD, but if BYD would like to sponsor this episode, we welcome you.
We'd take a new car.
Yeah, we'll take a new car. We'll take a new car for a spin, and give you our review.
7-seater for you, and
7-seater.
I'd be happy with just a ordinary sedan.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see that. And also a lot of clients approaching us for the solar panels, right? Because it's got to work together in that package. You sort of buy the car, you buy the charging unit, you buy the solar panel, and then you're off grid.
Yeah.
Then you don't need to worry about the fuel prices, the gas prices, etc., etc.
Actually, I've got a friend that's getting into this business. I'll find out more about what he's doing. A cycling friend down in Manawatu. I believe this is exactly what he's getting into, is this type of business. And I'll share it with us next time we talk, just so I've got my facts right. But I might be able to I'll post it online, what he's doing. But yeah, it's the way. But what I would be saying, is, let's not rush out and make that huge investment.
Yeah. But if you do want to, there are actually really cool loans out there,
Yes.
We've got banks that we're working with, and you can get 0% loan, you can get 1% loan to sponsor.
So I could get a 1% loan for an EV car.
Absolutely, you can.
So is there a limit to the amount?
Absolutely, there is.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this because I kind of need a car.
Yeah, well, it's up to 80K that you can get with 1%. So
wow.
And that can be stretched to 30 years, but that 1% is only valid for like 3 years, I think, 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
So you got to make sure you pay off that car quite quick. Otherwise, then it goes back to normal home loan rates.
And obviously, we're going to help you with that and make sure you get a good deal.
Yeah, and understand the options.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that applies to EVs and solars and hot water heat pump. I just upgraded mine from gas because gas was getting quite ridiculous. So I've upgraded. I removed gas hot water.
Cool.
And I put heat water hot.
And that would that means you don't have to pay the gas for the gas contract every month? Yeah. Because you didn't have gas bottles, right?
I had gas bottles.
Okay.
So I had to pay for the hireage of those gas bottles plus the gas. So that was costing us over $300-400 a month just on gas.
Yeah.
Plus power.
Okay, so it's time to, like we said in the previous episode, let's look at our bank statements and see what are those things that we can actually take advantage of, that you can make changes for the medium to long term to lower your costs. The solar panels that's the way of the future, right? That's what I noticed when we flew down to Christchurch the other day. Did you see that massive solar panel farm?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really cool.
That's really cool. So I think New Zealand has an amazing opportunity to get back on track, to be one of those sustainable countries, to lead the way. We used to lead the way. And somehow we've fallen off that wagon a little bit. So we just really need to get back onto that.
We still have in terms of where we are in what do we call it, renewable energy, we're quite far advanced, but where's the growth in that renewable energy going to come from for all the electricity that's going to be needed as we electrify everything?
Yeah.
We don't have those options. I don't know if we're doing that quick enough. But solar panels, EVs...
I think we could be doing better. Like I just came back from Sydney, and as you say, as you're flying in, you can see all those houses that have all the solar panels, the solar farms, people driving EVs. And to be honest, my heart goes out to Uber drivers at the moment. The Uber drivers that don't have an EV.
Yeah.
And they charge. And when I was ordering an Uber, I could see the price. There was the same price for an Uber normal and Uber electric. It was the same price. But it would cost the Uber petrol probably more money to run his car than the electric dude. Because the electric guy said that he could run 150 Ks a day without recharge.
Yeah.
So
we do get a few Uber driver clients. And
I've got a really cool theory about mortgage advisors versus Uber drivers and what they have in common. Can we do that in the next episode?
Yep, sounds cool.
All right, we'll do that next episode. Guys, stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening in. If you do want that EV or solar panel, get in touch with us. We will set you right.
Absolutely.
See ya. And that's a wrap on That Home Loan Hub. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join me next time for more property tips and tricks. Your next smart move starts here.